Hello, this is Dylan, and this is my project called the Hurdwick Inn, and I'm aiming to design with conservation in mind, staying connected with Tavistock's heritage. Here is the site mapping. As you can see, this is the chosen area of my site. This is the site, the entire site there. A few pros of this site is that it's already a flat surface with strong foundation. It's all bricked already. Although it's unpleasant ground. It's not been very well looked after. So as you can see from this, there's grass growing everywhere. It would need to be much better maintained. But yeah, it's got a nice view over the water. There's wildlife when I went to the site. I could see some ducks swimming around, which it would be nice to see if you were taking a break from work or something. If you want to go outside and have a look at the canal. It's a quieter area of the town. Obviously, there is still traffic, which I'm sure would be heavier during certain parts of the day, which could be distracting. But it's quite central to the town, so I think this is still a good location considering. During certain parts of the day, when the sun's lower, the evenings and that these tall buildings on either side of the site could cast quite a large, heavy shadow over the site, which I considered heavily with my window placement and stuff because I wanted to ensure there was as much natural sunlight as possible. But I knew that was something I had to think about. Okay. So this is the plan of the site. As you can see in the top right, you've got the big planter, which I aim to leave untouched. I don't want to disturb too much of the site that's there. And then you've got this planter, which would have to be demolished. However, the materials, this is made out of Hurdwick stone, which is quite important to my design. I'll get into that more in a bit. And then obviously these posts impede on where the building would be placed. So yeah, as you can see, these would need to be removed. Still loads of outdoor space here, and it also doesn't impede on the traffic, which I noticed traveling along this bit. So I tried to keep it within the boundaries that were already in place, so it wouldn't cause any additional problems. Now onto the materiality side. Hurdwick stone is very common in Tavistock. It's what most of the older buildings are made from, but this isn't quarried, at least cheaply now. It's mostly resourced from buildings which get demolished, so therefore it's expensive and fairly rare. So I do want to incorporate it in my design to keep it connected with Tavistock's history, as it was a mining town, and all this Hurdwick stone was used to build the main part, like the older buildings of Tavistock. So I wanted to make sure I incorporated this into my design somehow. A few problems with it is that it doesn't age well. It weathers, especially in rain. Tavistock's quite a rainy climate, so I had to consider that and minimize the risks with it. It can become brittle and chip away over time. However, the main body of it would be Dartmoor granite and blocks. So Dartmoor granite on the external wall, and then blocks for extra stability. Dartmoor granite um, ages well. It it has a long life and requires very little maintenance. Um, However, the only problem with it is you need, for construction, you need someone who knows how to work with Dartmoor granite. You can't just get a standard um, construction workers to build it. It's fairly low cost compared to Hurdwick stone, which would be significantly more expensive, and especially maintaining it would be even more pricey. So I think Dartmoor granite's a good choice, and a lot of buildings from my research and um, my visit to Tavistock, I saw a lot of buildings were made from this. Um, the more modern ones is a better alternative and much more stable than Hurdwick stone. Um, so this was initially how I wanted to incorporate Hurdwick stone into my design, where if you have the first couple meters or meter um, at the bottom of the building out of Hurdwick stone, so it's noticeable, it's at eye level. It's a familiar material, so you'd notice it, and then you'd have the Dartmoor granite on top. But I was concerned with um, the structure and how it could become damaged and weaken the integrity of the building, and I don't want to put too much strain on this weaker material. So instead, I opted for just a strip which goes around the building. You can see here, which could, it could act as headers of doors and windows. So it's still in the building, and it's a nice contrast to the Dartmoor brick. These were some of the initial designs I came up with. I took a lot from these. I went through a lot of initial designs. This was one of the very very first ones I came up with. There's a few things I took from it which I incorporated in my final design, which was the main desk opposite the main entrance, because that's the first thing you want to see as you come in. You don't want it to be disorientating. The main problem with this is it just felt awkward. There was no clear flow. The toilets around like this. I wanted to keep them hidden away rather than just slap bang in the middle of the room. I wanted to make sure they were, somewhat away from straight eye line, but this design felt forced and awkward, having it hidden away like this, and then the stairs and the lift in the corner here. These were the rooms that some of the rooms I first looked into. You can see quite a few different designs for the first floor. But these rooms are very very similar to what I ended up going for, because I liked the idea of having the bathtub shower poking out of the ensuite a bit further, which left a nice room for a little sofa or something in the empty space. Then you've got the twins and the double beds there. So this is very very similar to what I ended up going for, which is just pretty much this right here. And then this was much closer to the ground floor design that I ended up going for. These are the final elevations. You can see the front desk is opposite the main entrance. You got the disabled toilet on the ground floor, and then the lift and stairs. and then a side entrance to the side of the building whereas you saw on the plan there was nice place to view the water. So, and then I made sure to put windows on the north side of the building, try to capture as much sunlight as I can. And then coming up the stairs or the lift, you've got the 2 rooms. You've got the single bed, or double bed, and the twin room. Symmetrical with the windows, and then 2 more here. Capture as much sunlight as possible. Windows on every angle I can get, and then the 2 en suites back to back, which I figured would be best for plumbing and stuff. Although the only problem I'm concerned with this is it might feel a little bit claustrophobic, a bit small. So if you're a bigger person, you might struggle your way around the room, which is my main concern, which is something I would improve upon if I was to redesign this again. And then in this area, you have the kitchenette. Another problem I have is that from coming up the stairs or out of this room, it's not so obvious that it's there. Like, it feels kind of hidden away around the corner. So again, if I was to do this again, I might reconsider the positioning of this. The building in its whole is 9.5 meters along and 6 meters up. And then this is the second floor, which is smaller because it's in the loft. You've got come up the stairs up this way, and then you've got some desks, bookshelves, some more desks here. Obviously the lift, and then these 4 are skylights, more natural sunlight. Be cheaper for maintenance bills and everything. Although I'm concerned with having so many windows that it might cause insulation problems and cost more to heat, which is something I would potentially change. This is the sectional elevation. As you can see, this is the desk opposite the main entrance. And then as you come up to the second floor, these are the 2 beds opposite each other with the windows either side. And then you've got up in the loft, you've got the 2 desks. This is standing height. Obviously, I have to take away from the wall, so you're not crouching in the corner or anything. And then this is in habitation of the building, how I imagined it. Someone sat at the front desk and waiting for the lift, or looking out the window towards the canal, or working. And then these were the model I made. This is the structure sat on top of the site. It's quite a challenge for me. I'm unfamiliar with styrofoam board, so it's quite new territory. So after a few models, this was the design I had, and it occurred to me whilst I was constructing this that the flat side of the roof was facing towards where you'd enter from, so you'd come from the road this way, and this would be what you'd see. And I just don't think it's very appealing. And if I was to do this again, I would probably invert the entire floor plan so that this side, the slanted side of the roof, would be facing towards the entrance. And then you'd have the lift on the side. I needed to have one side at least with the flat side, so the lift and the stairs could all fit, and obviously more room if it was like this on both sides. There'd be no room at all to work. But yeah, that's everything. So thank you.